Hello and welcome to Health with Sveta. I'm so glad you're here. In today's episode, I'm very honored to have a special guest, videographer Reuben Sarrafo. We're diving into the fascinating world of gut health and the power and the importance of microbiome. Together, we will explore how these tiny organisms play a big role in your overall wellness and how you can take charge of your health from inside out and from your gut. Get ready to unlock the secrets of healthier, happier you. Let's go, guys.
Hi, Sveta. How are you?
Great. How are you, Reuben?
I'm doing very good.
I'm so excited you're here.
Yes, absolutely. I guess it must be weird to have, this is a health and wellness podcast, and your guest across from you is a videographer.
I love that. That's a mission. Because I want to talk to real people and I want to hear those real people's questions so I can actually talk and teach something.
Yes, absolutely. Our connection for people listening is when you were recording your first episode, actually, I was just outside your studio and we started talking about just health and wellness in general. And then I was talking about my recent personal gut health journey. And so I had just sunk deep into I don't want to say just heavy research into it, but just looking deeper into gut health. And we just started talking.
And that's so important what you just said. Now, it's in a sense, it's very important to talk to a professional. Why? Because you just said that you dunk into the deep in your understanding, deep research on gut and microgut.
Yes.
So you basically went into the Google University.
Yeah, exactly.
And and the thing with Google University, you're a videographer. So you understand deeply the Google University of videography.
Yes.
So you can pick and choose which is real, which is not. You actually know the nuances. When you read the Google University of a microgut, you actually don't know what's real, what's not.
Yeah.
And it's not only getting overwhelming, it may be scary, and you really don't know which is the right stuff. But overwhelming may be the word. So let's just go simplified and simplify the importance. Why, what, and why.
Yes. So I don't know if you want to start with either let's talk about what the word microbiome and gut health. Do we want to define that and start there before we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we need to start with the notion of microbiota. We live together. It's called symbiosis.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's like I live together, you live together with a whole bunch of microbes. And the number of microbes to number of me, a number of your cells, me or you, in terms of the cells, is to the category maybe of 10 or even more. So they are a whole lot more than I am. Not only they're a whole lot more than I am, their gene bank, is a whole lot bigger than our genetic bank. Now, why did I say microbiota? I didn't say microgut. Because we're covered with bugs from head to toe.
Right. That sounds disgusting.
It's great because it sounds disgusting, but it's great because of the benefits that the good bacteria or the good microbes bring to us. Because we have a whole bunch of microbiota in our oral cavity. We have microbiota on our skin, which is amazing. And then, but we have it. We discovered that we actually have microbiota in our brain because that's how it is important. It just has to be the good one. But we always talk about that microbiota in our gut, or we call it microgut. So that kind of the thing. So now we may start exploring why is it so important? And does it start with the microgut? No, it doesn't. And what affects it? So as you know, in order for microbiota to be healthy, it has to live in a healthy home. right?
Yeah.
You can have a moldy home and you paint it with a golden color, with a beautiful, uber expensive gold paint. Is it going to change the notion that your house is moldy?
No.
So for us, per se, to have a healthy microgut, we need to have a healthy home, which is going to be healthy gut.
Right.
And that's to the point where our life changes start with our decision making, with our commitment to clean the house. And cleaning the house, we're not doing the drugs. Drugs are there for a reason, but it's my commitment to take them up and start cleaning.
Yeah. As an experienced doctor, why is gut health so critical to overall well-being?
Oh, God, this is such a loaded and important question.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about, we kind of started about the gut. So there's gut, like our gastrointestinal tube. And every part of this gastrointestinal tube is loaded, situated by different variety of microorganisms.
Right.
And then we're getting into the microgut. Now, why? Because in simplicity, there is a triangle. And triangle is your microgut is entirely connected to your brain, and your microgut is entirely connected to the immune system. So this is your triangle that you cannot have broken
Yeah.
parts of this triangle. Everything has to be aligned. So if you do not have a healthy microgut, it is going to be linked to unhealthy sort of, brain cognitive functionality.
Yes.
If you don't have a healthy microgut, your immune system is going to suffer. That is in a sense, very in simplicity, the importance of our microgut and why do we need to fix it.
Yeah. And part of my personal journey is something I noticed. Some of the earlier signs of like having a bad gut was having brain fog. Was just like I noticed that I had a hard time paying attention in just multiple aspects of my life. And so these were earlier signs of just like, what is going on with my brain? It's just brain fog, like that's just such a weird thing. And where's that coming from, right?
Right. So brain fog it's like my brain cells are telling me we're tired. It means to me that they're not functioning at the optimal capacity. So now, let's say in simplicity, how do, let's say, brain cells function? So there is a signal. It's a messaging, right?
Yes.
This is one brain cell, neuron. This is a second brain cell, neuron. And they message each other. And when you have a brain fog, the message doesn't go through, or the message is delayed.
Yeah.
Hang on. Why the messaging how is the messaging happening? The messaging is happening through the chemical structures, the chemical substances that are called neurotransmitters. Now, who makes neurotransmitters? Either these brain cells make neurotransmitters, or guess what? One of the main brain neurotransmitter called serotonin is mainly produced in our gut,
Interesting.
in our gut cells. However, it is stimulated by the microgut signals.
Okay.
That's number one connection. Our brain cells and our gut cells, and serotonin is a neurotransmitter of basically calmness, focus, concentration. Rings the bell?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. Then there's a second one, also there's a neurotransmitter which is called, big word, don't worry, acetylcholine, whatever. But what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's basically a neurotransmitter of functionality.
Okay.
So mobility,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. We pay so much attention, or I pay so much attention when I look at elderly.
Yeah.
It is extremely important to me to talk to them and ask them, how are your bowels?
Mm.
Sorry, like gory details. How are your bowels? I need to know that. So that is extremely important.
Yeah.
Your regularity.
Yeah.
Because your regularity also tells me about the function of your gut and functionality of your microgut.
Yeah.
Now, all this connection is microgut connects to our brain, not enough. So your brain cells are per se suffering, they're getting dirtier. Like,
Yeah.
in simple words, they're getting dirtier and they're not getting enough support to clean it. So we also get an impulse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like command. Do you think your command comes from the brain to the action? Actually, 90%, it's only 10%
Really?
of commands are coming from the brain. Actually, 90% of commands, they come from the gut into the
That
brain.
is
the gut
crazy.
into the brain and then down.
That's so interesting.
That is the importance of the microgut.
Wow. Okay, because I feel like it's so often where we target our problems of our health at the symptoms, right? It's like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm tired, so I need coffee to pick me up or something like that. Or
a sleeping pill.
yeah. Or yeah, the other side is like, I'm not getting enough sleep, so I need to take melatonin or a sleeping pill. We target things at the symptom, but we don't really look at the root.
You actually know the root cause because you said, I'm getting tired. Why am I getting tired? From getting tired, let's say my gut is not functioning. And then I notice that my brain is not functioning and I have a brain fog.
Yeah.
And when we look at the symptoms, we start, patching them.
Yeah.
One pill per ill.
Yeah.
However, now we're getting into back to the responsibility of me.
Mm-hmm.
So now, pardon my language, I'm going to knock your socks off.
All right, go for it.
Okay, fine. Everybody needs to take probiotics. Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Why? We need to take care of our own microgut. Do we need the probiotics? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the solution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we are the solution.
Yes. What are some other common signs of poor gut health that people might overlook? Like, people are going to want to connect with this. Like, I was
Number
talking
one,
about
constipation.
Yeah.
I always make a joke. Some people say, oh, I'm a regular.
Mm-hmm.
How regular? Once a week. Well, somebody's regularity once a week as opposed to others' regularity every time you have a nice bowel movement,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a good meal.
Yeah.
You have to think of little kids.
Yeah.
So babies, what do babies do?
They poo.
They
a lot.
poop.
Yeah.
They poop. Not only they poop.
Big hefty.
And guess what? If we feed them right, for example, breast milk, and then we start them on a right note,
Yeah.
their microgut, their composition of the microgut is the healthiest.
Right.
And then we start going downhill.
Yeah.
A person that per se starting on the journey to have at least one bowel movement a day, and not to the point where sitting in the bathroom and it takes 15 minutes for you to produce and you're reading all these social media posts and
Right.
stuff like that. I kind of want in and out, we're done.
Yeah.
So now, then I would like few bowel movements a day. So I basically will aim at nice bowel movement after a good meal.
Yeah.
So let's say we break it down into 2 big meals or maybe 3 average meals,
Mm-hmm.
because I propagate intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 2 big meals. 2 big meals, 2 nice size poops.
Yeah.
I do not want constipation. I also don't want diarrhea.
Yeah.
Because what happens with the diarrhea, you per se, yes, you're excreting toxins and stuff, you are, but you're also excreting fluids, you're dehydrating,
Yeah.
but you're also not absorbing.
Yes.
You're not absorbing food.
Yep.
So that's the start. We're getting into gory details, but that's what it is.
Yeah, of
And the
course.
funny part is, as soon as you start cleaning your diet,
Yeah.
like simple ways, you notice that my bowel habits have changed to a much better, and I feel better. I feel cleaner. This was a great bowel moment. I
Yeah.
actually feel energized and refreshed.
Yeah. What are some other common signs of poor gut health? So we got constipation, we got diarrhea, we got brain fog.
Bloating,
Bloating is a big one. Yeah.
bloating, heartburn,
Heartburn, yeah.
some tummy achiness. It's
Yeah.
like, I've got gas.
Yeah.
And that not only I'm bloated, but that gas bothers me.
Yeah.
This kind of
Yeah.
things. And what other things? I'm gaining weight.
That was actually one of my big problems was COVID happened, so we're all sitting down, we're not doing anything, we're in our homes and all that stuff. And so I gained a lot of weight because of COVID. And then I would clean my health up. Like right now, I'm sitting across from you and I have a smoothie that I made naturally. Cheers. We
Cheers.
love that.
Because we're going to discuss your drink and then we're going to discuss my
Exactly.
drink.
And this is just like, it's not a smoothie I bought at a store. This is a smoothie I made at home with fruits and vegetables. People forget about what your body actually needs instead of just building muscles.
That's entirely correct.
Yeah.
That's entirely correct. You need to feed that muscle,
Yeah.
and then you need to clean that muscle. In order to clean that muscle and connect, you need microgut.
Yeah.
Because again, so now per se, everybody now into something that is called Ozempic.
Oh, Ozempic. Oh, yes. The miracle drug that everyone's talking about.
Ozempic is actually, it's a drug. FDA, awesome. Let's put it this way, awesome.
Yeah.
However, what is this? It is something that is made, not Ozempic drug, but the concept of that, what is called peptide.
Okay.
And that peptide is made in our gut. What stimulates this is our microgut. There is a bug in that microgut, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like now it's like it's a new flavor of the month of the year or something. It's called Akkermansia municipala, which is great. Forget about the name, but sounds very fancy. But that Akkermansia, without that Akkermansia, it's not going to stimulate those cells in the gut. And those cells are actually going to stimulate our pancreas, are going to stimulate insulin to break down that glucose that you are eating. That glucose, breaking it down and putting it into proper cells and something for the proper metabolism.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have enough insulin, but we have an abundance of glucose, not only we cannot lose weight, but we're starting to function very inappropriately.
Yeah. And to bring this tangent back into continuing our conversation is, one of my biggest signs on top of the brain fog and a lot of the things that you listed for the common signs of a bad gut health was I could not lose weight. I would be eating extremely healthy. Like I said, I'm eating this wonderful smoothie. I would eat clean and I could not lose the weight until I started targeting the gut health.
Were you targeting just the gut? Even very simple. The only thing you were targeting per se the gut with foods and stuff, and you started feeling better.
Yeah, my brain just went, okay, I'm just going to try to eat clean. And then I tried to eat clean, and I still didn't change anything. And it wasn't until I started targeting the gut, I lost 20 pounds.
Congratulations.
So, and I feel so good. This goes into my next question because it can be so difficult to target the root cause of health problems. And so my question for you is, why can it be challenging to diagnose gut-related issues, even with medical tests? Because I'm coming from a place where when I started experiencing a lot of these symptoms, I would go to doctors, and the doctors just would, they would kind of shrug their shoulder. I'm like trying to just shorten my experience with doctors. I'm not going to get in the weeds of that, but essentially they would just try to give me antibiotics. And it's just like, oh man, I'm suddenly experiencing like a gluten sensitivity. I'm experiencing like brain fog and all this stuff. And it's just, my bathroom experiences are just awful. And it's just like something's up, and it's not just shrug your shoulder, here's some antibiotics. It's something deeper. And I had to go through the whole rigmarole myself. So,
Okay, so here's the deal. I live under assumption that everyone has a bad gut.
that's fair.
So per se, in my mind, I don't need to diagnose it. It's like in my mind, everyone has a bad gut/microgut until proven otherwise, because for what we eat.
Yeah.
For it does, like, I try to eat clean. Even my clean is not clean enough
No.
because I cannot control the whole environment. I cannot control microtoxins. I cannot control the pollution. I can't.
Yeah.
I also cannot control sometimes my emotions because every stress situation brings down my microgut. My law is I need to take care of my microgut.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody has a severe gluten sensitivity signs, it's so easy to diagnose conventionally. We have the breast test, we have endoscopy with some biopsies, which is my job to diagnose celiac disease under the microscope. And I love actually I love looking at celiac disease under the microscope. But this is very advanced.
Yeah.
When we see celiac disease under the microscope, for example, it's very advanced. Is it manageable? Yeah, because it's a diet. It's a gluten-free diet, but we need to start taking care of it before. Do you eat? Did you have breakfast?
Actually, not. This is my
Well,
breakfast
this is
smoothie.
great. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Nutrient-filled breakfast. Fine. Do you think your microgut, your bugs want to eat? They need food.
Yeah.
Now, you already told me that when you started feeding yourself good food, you started feeling better. Our microgut doesn't sustain on bagels.
Yeah.
It doesn't sustain. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our microgut doesn't sustain on steak. It doesn't. So that's a thing. We need to start feeding because, as I started before, you cannot get a probiotic with 500 or 1,000 species.
Yeah.
But you can start feeding your gut. Now, here's the deal. I was a vegan for many years. I'm not a vegan anymore.
Right.
I don't eat meat, but I eat eggs, farm-raised, free-range, beautiful eggs,
Right.
and I eat wild fish. Everything I eat has to have a nutritional and health value.
Yeah.
I don't do chocolate cakes with Bavarian cream. I love them. I don't eat them because their nutritional value is zero. So what is meat? Meat is basically fat and protein. Where is the carbohydrate part that I need?
Right.
Where is the fiber part that I need? Where is the non-saturated fat that I need? So why per se fish? Because fish brings me this omegas. Now, what are the omegas? Omegas are something that is going to feed my microgut. So, I mean, do we need this day and age? The older you get, in a sense, you actually do need more protein. How much more? You don't need to eat half a cow.
Yeah.
And then meat is different from meat. The conventional meat or feedlot meat is completely different from a free-range pasture-raised meat.
Right.
And as you said, your point is everything in the balance. The food has to be balanced.
What are some actual effective ways to restore good bacteria in the gut?
AKA, what food feeds your gut?
Yeah. Like,
So-
give it to me straight and simple. This is the main kicker. So I see you're across from me, and you have this gigantic glass
Bottle.
vase water bottle that you can buy at the store, but you filled it with, it looks like a brown liquid. What is this?
Thank you. And I'm so glad that this is an audio podcast, not a video podcast, because of the color of that thing. So, this is a complicated beverage. And it contains, obviously, it's in a glass bottle. You said that. Because I buy some fancy water in a glass bottle and I recycle that bottle.
We love
It's
that.
glass because it's not plastic. Plastic is no bueno.
It's really bad. Okay, I'm going to pause real quick because you were talking about It's just
Plastic harms your microgut.
yeah. Okay, I just want to make a quick comment on you listed a lot of things that we can't control in our environment because we need to feed our body good stuff, and we can only do so much because of things happening to environment, to the food that we then consume. There's this. I've recently discovered how much microplastics are in the world, that they are discovering it in the human body. Like,
In the newborns.
it's
Not only
crazy.
in the newborns, in the fetuses.
That's crazy. Just we're finding microplastics in our body. So
You know what happens? Do you know what a half-life of microplastics? It's longer than nuclear material.
that's crazy.
That's crazy. So that's why, in a sense, it's great BPA free. It's not free from microplastics.
Yeah.
Now, before microplastics, all that stuff, it builds what is called endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors are going to disrupt your endocrine and microgut.
Yeah.
So that's why, per se, yes, I use glass bottles,
Sure,
recycle.
sure.
Fine. So now, what is in here? We need to feed. I already told you I need to feed my microgut. So what do? So now, before the drink, the best food to feed your microgut is the plants-based. That's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's fruits and vegetables. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can jug it into the pill, which is called prebiotic. Awesome. If you can find the great one, awesome. But eat it because it's yummy. The best it's called prebiotic. So before
the probiotic?
microbiome, before probiotic. So there is probiotic, or let's say probiotics are basically something that gets into your microgut. So we're going to call it prebiotic, but it's like we're feeding microgut. And then there's also something that is called postbiotic. So after the microbes eat the stuff, they poop. And then they poop the good stuff, the good ones. And when they poop the good stuff, they stimulate the gut to make our quote-unquote Ozempic. They stimulate our gut to make serotonin. With me, I cheat because I actually add prebiotic drinks. So it starts with fermented beverage. We all know that fermented beverages not only feed our microgut, but it stimulates it. It stimulates the species. So I need to put some kefir or kefir,
Yeah.
kombucha,
Yep.
sauerkraut,
Kimchi.
Kimchi, sauerkraut, yum yum, whatever you want.
Fermented foods was that missing link to my diet. Like, I was eating clean, still not losing weight. But once I started adding fermented foods,
The fermented foods, they kick your own in the butt.
man, it's crazy.
They kicked your own in the butt. They stimulated it. It's like probiotic. What do probiotic do? And that's why it's so important not to be on probiotic all the time,
Yeah.
but jump it, because probiotics is like a visitor. It gets there. Hello, I'm here. Let's have fun. Let's have a meal.
Yeah.
Kick it in the butt. They're gone.
Okay.
So you cannot take the same probiotic all the time, because it's going to
Like, your body gets used to it.
it's going to repopulate it.
Okay.
You cannot have one species. The essence of the healthy microgut is the diversity. So if we are prone to have 500 species, we aim to have 500 species or 700 species. The more, the merrier.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to quickly summarize. We need 3 things that are very important. We need prebiotic. Prebiotic is, if you can define that real quick.
Prebiotic, we'll start with food.
Okay.
Onions, garlic, apples with peel, prefer apples organic, preferably.
Yeah, of course.
Berries, preferably organic.
And you said green bananas?
Green bananas.
Why green bananas real quick?
Because insoluble fiber.
And it
Simple as
only
that.
exists
And
in that state of the
it
banana.
only exists in the green banana.
Okay. Okay.
White cold boiled potatoes.
Potatoes, right. Okay.
That's the main thing. And if you can find a great prebiotic in a supplement form, that's great. I actually do have it. If you go to Health with Sveta, you can find it. You can find the link. So a great hydration. Now, it's obviously, so that's a food for prebiotic, but it's also great to eat healthy. So you need to concentrate on a plant-based food,
Right.
because that is going to clean your gut. To clean your gut is going to make your gut house healthy.
Yep.
Then you are feeding your microgut to start flourishing, to start rebuilding.
Yep.
And that's a start, and a good hydration.
Good hydration. So drinking water often. So that's prebiotic. Probiotic is
And the probiotic.
Yeah.
You got to find a good probiotic.
okay.
Multitude of probiotics
There's
on
so
the
many,
market.
and these are just like almost like vitamins on
Yeah, it's
right.
multitude. It's a whole discussion. However, again, same thing. I do have a good one. If you go to Health with Sveta, you can look it up and stuff, search it. And that's basically the foundation.
Okay, so you want to take probiotics, but you said they're like a visitor, so you don't want to just take
no,
them
no,
like
no, take it for 10 days.
10 days
And
then
then
switch
stop.
off.
Exactly. Give it a break.
Yeah.
And continue with fermented foods. We forgot fermented foods.
Okay.
So your kefir, your kombucha. Be very careful about the ingredients and composition, because why is my kefir and my kombucha taste different other than commercial? Commercial is very sweet. It's very yummy. Why? It's
Yeah.
under fermented.
Yeah.
Because if you taste mine, there is not a hint of sweetness, because the bugs ate everything and they want
Yeah,
more.
Of course.
I don't want an extra sugar.
Yeah.
So be careful. And it's very, very simple to start making your own.
Right. Just real quick before we move on to the postbiotic, but for probiotic, when we switch off the taking probiotics, how long should we switch off before going back on? Is that just up to us? Is that just
You can follow your bowel movements.
okay?
So you can see you're good, you
Yeah.
recovered, you're feeling awesome, your
Yeah.
weight goes down, you can stay off. Because if not, I am basic. Now, there are different category of probiotics. There's probiotics with the bugs, so like different species that are very beneficial and indigenous to the gut. And there are also species that are not indigenous to the gut, but they kick your bugs in their butt, which is called spore biotics. So that's a different discussion.
Yes. Right.
It's not like, for example, what else do you need for your microgut? Vitamin D.
That's a big one.
Wow.
That's crazy.
There you go.
That like okay.
So hang on.
Yeah, let's
so
finish.
D, it's like all the time. Like to me, living in Alberta, D is like it's a given.
Yeah.
So
Get lost
D,
in.
even in the sun, now I'm outside running still. But with probiotics, I bounce. It's like in, out, different. I jiggle, I jumble depending of what are the good ones and how my gut is feeling. And let's say fall, I need to clean, I need to repopulate. Now I'm getting into the summer. I know that I'm going to be eating a lot of local foods,
Yep.
a lot of local greens that are going to rebuild and help and fill my microgut.
Yep. Okay, we defined prebiotics. We defined probiotics. Could you define postbiotic
Okay,
real quick?
so here's the deal. It's actually what bacteria makes, or disgustingly, it's the fragments of dead probiotics.
Okay.
Because it's very beneficial. So what it does, it stimulates our gut cells to make some hormones, to make neurotransmitters like serotonin, and it stimulates our most important part of immune system, which is called primary or innate immune system. So postbiotic, it's either we make from the microgut,
Right.
or we are pretty deficient as well because our microgut. So you can get postbiotic in a supplemental form. That's usually comes as in
Yeah.
a supplemental form.
And that product is just
There again,
called like postbiotic.
You can look
Like
up just postbiotic
like you
again.
would, okay.
From the Google, you don't know which is a good quality, which is a beneficial and stuff. Same thing, if you want to go on my website, Health with Sveta,
Yeah.
we do have a postbiotic.
Okay.
And look it up and see, and there is an information sheet So just go into this, see the details, do your research, do your due diligence. If you want to go for it, it's right there. It's right into my drink.
Sweet.
It's yum. I mean, whatever I drink has to taste good. Whatever I eat has to taste good.
Yeah.
However, I also believe that when you buy a very good quality produce, you actually don't need to do much with it
You really don't.
because it's just great on its own. Like asparagus is in season, amazing
Yeah.
prebiotic again.
interesting.
Asparagus,
Yeah.
amazing gut cleaner. Asparagus is such a detoxifier,
Mm.
and it's going to help you to produce as well.
Well, Sveta, we talked a lot about
I think we
different
did.
things.
And I think it opens, but it's almost like it's like an overwhelming topic.
It's so much.
Where
It's
you
so
want
much.
to cover more.
Well, we talked a lot about how the importance of gut health. You explained in the form of a triangle. It's like these three major points and how they all affect one another. It's the gut health to the brain to your function was the last one, and how they all work in synchronicity. And it's important that you feed the root cause, which we tackle at the symptom. We feel brain fog, or like I'm sleepy, and so I'm going to take melatonin. We talked about all those things, but the root cause, actually, the root of all these things is the gut health. And then we also talked about what feeds the gut, which was prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. And you can get those things in the form of supplements, but the most important thing is finding it at the root where it's found in these different foods that we've listed. And then also you've offered some options on your website as well, which I'm sure we'll include in the description on the episode as well.
Which thanks to you guys is so unbelievably awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Sveta. I feel like I've
Reuben,
learned so
that
much.
was awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. Love this discussion.
Absolutely.
Discussion to continue, guys. Join us.